Hi friends, welcome to the second part, JavaScript functions. So now I will be discussing about function scope. 1. The variables which are declared inside the function cannot be accessed outside the function. And rule 2, a function can access all the variables within the scope. Two rules we need to keep in the mind. So I am declaring some variables inside the function block. So if I run the program, we will be getting the names. Let me change. So if you remember what I said, rule number 1, the variables declared inside the functions cannot be accessed outside. So I am declaring the variables inside the function block, right? So if I try to access outside the function means see the name is not defined. So you cannot able to access anything. So this is all about the statement 1. So coming to the statement 2, a function can access all the variables that is defined outside the function. So if I call this function, it will be printing all the names. Sorry. See, it got printed. If you try to access outside the function, then it can able to access all the variables. But when these are declared inside the function, but if try to access outside the function, then we cannot able to access it. So this is all about the scope. Simple. Remember that when it is declared inside the this flower braces, then this can be accessed only within this flower braces only. If you try to access outside the function, you cannot access whatever the variables you defined inside this. But other way around, if you defined outside the function, so this is the global scope, so it can be accessed everywhere in the function. To the entire program, these variables can be used. Think about what are closures. See, there are two functions. One is outer function A and inner function B. In outer functions, you have defined some variables. Okay, so in the inner functions also you have defined some variables. But if you want to access the outer function variables from the inner functions, then you can able to access it. That means this inner method having the ability to access all the variables which are present outside function, while the outer function, this one, this outer can be able to access the inner function variables. Is nothing but the environment, so it provides the nested function a bit. So I'm writing the one function inside the another function. Function. So now I'm calling the outer function. Here what is happening is, see, I am passing the value 30 to this parameter. So this 30 will map it to x. So once this block, this is the block, right? So this is the inner function. So inner function is nothing but the closure. So inside we are declaring another function. So inner function can able to store this 30 in the x. Let's see how. And also the outer function is returning the inner function. So if I pass this outer returned to value 2, so this 2 will be stored into the y, because initially we are passing 30, right? So this 30 will be mapped to this x, but for the y value, if you pass again with the, when you try to call the function by passing the parameter, this 2 will be mapped to y. See, let's run. See, the 32 got printed. So what here is happening is, the first 30 is storing into this map to this x, and after that it will go into this block and it is stored into the inner function, the returned x. After that we are calling the outer return, right? So this two will be mapped to this y. So at the first time the 30 value will be stored to x only. Okay, at the second time you are passing 2, it will be mapped to y. Up from function, this is the closure. Inner function, nothing but this is the closure. Callback functions. So if I want to call function f1, how can we call? Just by function name. But the function 1, if you see the parameter a, it is accepting the function as an argument, because if you look at inside the block, it is a function, right? So in f1 we need to pass a function as an argument to that function f1. So can I pass this f2? Because f1, for f1 it need an argument, so I can pass f2 as an argument, right? I am passing f2. So what will happen now is, the f2 will hold inside the a. So after hold, so it will come to a. A is nothing but the reference variable. So by using the a, it will be calling the f2 function. So a, nothing but f2 call. This a is nothing but the f2 function call only. Indirectly you are calling the f2. Here f2 is there, right? So f2, f1 is one function and f2 is another function. So this f2 is holding the value inside the A. So A is a function. So indirectly A is calling the F2. A is nothing but the F2 function calling only. Okay. So indirectly we are calling with A. This is the reference. Run our program. See, the second function got executed. Indirectly we are calling with the reference with EA. So this you need to keep in the mind. This is called callback functions. Function which takes one more function as an argument is nothing but the higher order functions. And also one more important thing is here is, so see, if I declare one variable, let, okay, so if I pass variable 100 to this A, see what will happen. Can you guess the result? It will say the function is not defined. A is not a function because inside this it is expecting a function. So 100% you need to pass the function only inside this. Okay. So here the type is very important. Based on the type you need to pass.